I guess if you will. The humbling is in the discomfort.
Yeah.
Because
we don't want to be discomfort. We don't want to be uncomfortable.
No, nobody wants to be uncomfortable. But that's the thing is that if you're not uncomfortable, you're not going to grow.
Right.
If you're not uncomfortable, you're not going to achieve that next plateau or whatever it is you're trying to go for. And people are scared of being uncomfortable. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Deep MCs, the podcast that seeks to push meaningful conversation to a whole new level. Whether it's for your entertainment or your personal growth, we appreciate you being here today. And now, on to the show. What's going on, man?
What's up, Shep?
Hey, what's going on? Here we go. Something always happens at the beginning of every show. So we did the clapper before we record, like almost, but I have to use my hands because we're not in the movie, so I don't have the thing, right? My wrist popped and it hurt. It hurt really bad. I got baby toddler wrists, and I wanted to be like, fuck, but the intro was coming on, so I couldn't.
I had to be quiet.
I was like, oh. It was a sharp pain. I don't know what's going on. I got wrist problems, man. I think that's genetic. Because believe it or not, as my dad got older, he used to have to wear these tight leather
like
brace things that he had. I never understood it, but I get it now. Because if he had baby wrists like me, that shit hurt.
Baby wrists.
Yeah, I don't know. So
is it carpal tunnel? Or
I don't know what it is. It hurt like hell though.
Okay.
I need a clapper.
All right.
I don't know what the clapper is for, but if you know what the clapper is for, let us know in the comments. But I need one where I can get a clapper because this shit is ridiculous. What are we getting into today?
Hey man, so we're just gonna deal with humility, man.
Humility.
I know that's a broad net, but we're gonna jump into the net today. Yeah, we're gonna get in it.
See what we can get, man. Humility is a weird thing. Being humble. Or being humbled, or I don't know.
So already right there, there's two things. You already being humble, like in a process, or being humbled, by something.
Yes,
that's two different pools. Right? That's two separate pools, man.
It is two separate pools. It is two separate pools. But not only is it two separate pools, it's a whole another two sets of pools in how people treat you in either of those situations.
Yeah, right.
So now you got four pools. I'm bad at math, right? So now you got two pools, and now you got four pools. And then how everybody sees you from those pools, now you got six pools, and it's just an ongoing. You end up with the ocean.
It's a process,
right?
Yeah,
you end up with the ocean because of it. So I don't know, what pool are we going to jump into? Are we going to jump into the humble pool or the being humble pool? I guess would be
I guess we can start with the humble pool, because I question sometimes, is it a scapegoat that people use when they don't like how you approach something? So because they may say, you may be very confident in who you are and what your abilities are, and you may not take a no, or you may not take a critique that you don't believe in. You know what I'm saying? You may not accept that. No, I'm not that. No, I won't accept that. Right. And people will say, well, no, you need to be humble, right? Is that a scapegoat sometimes for people when they don't want to align with how you see yourself? Is that something they throw out there?
I don't know. That's hard, right? Because then now you're venturing into the territory of, are you really confident, or are you just not self-aware that you don't?
And that's what
right?
Because there's a whole mix in this thing, right? And I say that is because there's some things that I think I've used humility to my deficit, right?
Right.
Because I've come into places where, I should have spoken up, or I should have done this, or I should have said that, or I should have been very straightforward about something that I knew the answer to, or I knew exactly how this should roll, right? But I'm playing the humble position because I'm not at that place, or I'm not in that person's position.
Yeah,
I'm not the leader, you know, and I did it at the Blue Box, right?
Yeah.
My previous manager was screwing it up, right? Destroying it.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there like an humble lamb, like, okay, I'll wait my turn.
Yeah, it is what it is.
You know what I'm saying? And I remember a conversation that I was having then, and they were like, well, why didn't you say something? I flipped it. You know, I'm not a dummy. So I said, hey, you are the one that kept that person in position.
Yeah.
So it's not my responsibility to create this coup. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, we overthrow them when you still clearly believe in who they are, right? And so, but I know I did have a responsibility to say something, to do something, to be more active and engaged in this process, and just not let it fall apart like it did.
But that's the thing, though, right? Is do you? And that's a decision. I mean, I guess it's going into a whole nother. We're gonna have a whole bunch of pools.
Yeah, it's
about to be Los Angeles. Right. I mean, everybody got a pool. But right, that's something different though too, because sometimes you have to let it fall apart in order for it to be better, right?
Yeah,
so
right.
You know, it's deciding when is that point to allow that to happen or not, because otherwise you can just be supporting a falling structure and it never goes anywhere. It just is leaning on you.
Yeah,
and it becomes a burden in itself. I don't know. It's so hard. It's so hard to understand or to even find out what side of the line you're going to be on in those regards. Just because, I mean, ultimately it all affects you, right? But I think that there's a line between being that person and the growth portion of you as well. And you know, they say, you know, hey, you know, closed mouths don't get fed.
Don't get fed, right?
Which is one of those stupid sayings. There's a million fucking sayings, right?
Yeah.
You know, but they say, hey, know your role as well. So you have to decide, you know, I guess at that point in time, you know, or maybe we are just in assimilation and our choices are already made for us. And it doesn't matter what the fuck we thought we were going to do. We're going to do what we're going to do anyway.
It's already preordained.
It's already preordained. It's already done, right?
Yes.
I don't know. You know, I would think that when it comes to being humble or being humbled, it's also viewed weird too, right? Because I don't know, I can be an asshole, but then there's also times where I can just be confident in my knowings or my knowledge of what I'm doing, and some people take that the wrong way, right? They're like, oh, you know, oh, you're just trying to play cool, like, you know. Like, no, I just don't care.
Yeah,
like, I think you guys are confusing me being humble with me just not giving a fuck.
Right.
At some point, like, I really just don't care.
Yeah.
You know, but then some people also look at that as like, you know, some people do look at it as you just don't care, and that's a bad thing as well, right? Like, I don't know. That's a weird thing to kind of deal with, you know, because some people think it's good. Some people think you need it. I do think that everybody needs to be humbled at some point in time, right?
Is it a necessity?
Oh, for sure.
It is.
I think it.
So it's on the list of things you have to check off. Why?
More than once.
Why?
More than once, because I feel that it's an equalizer.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
It's an equalizer to a lot of things, right? And this is kind of, I guess this kind of now, if I think about it, kind of goes into the ego portion of things that we had talked about before as ideas. But, you know, you can, when people don't get humbled, they tend to just grow this crazy, enormous ego. And that's not always a bad thing, but there's a point in time where it gets off the rails.
I got you.
You know, I think we could.
So is Kanye an example of that?
Oh shit!
I know we hadn't discussed it, but when you said that, I was like, ding, 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 ding.
I don't even want to talk about that.
But I'm saying,
that's a well. First of all, he needs professional.
Yeah, right. I think that's clear.
Kanye's never,
at least to me, it's clear.
Never gonna listen to this podcast, but if he does, man, I hope you get help, bro.
Yeah, right.
Like for real,
it's necessary.
It's at this point, it's necessary. But people like that, yeah, like that. That's a prime example, right? When you get, it comes a point where when there's no equalizer, when there's nothing to shut you down or keep you straight, then you begin to think, right? Because you can convince yourself of anything.
Yeah, right.
If you give yourself enough time, you can convince yourself of anything. So yeah, you can be confident. You know, if there's 10 things, you can be confident and competent in 2 of those. And if people just keep blowing you up, well, that confidence is going to start to spill over into that.
You feel like everything
into
is
that fourth, into that fifth,
right.
And no one's going to stop you. And then people start disbelieving until you get humbled.
Until the rug gets snatched out from under you.
But that's being humbled, right? You know, that's being humbled is now you say, hey, I'm gonna slow your roll, motherfucker.
Right.
You're not hot shit.
Yeah,
you know, you got
all of the power. And man, one of the things that I realized fully is that all of the power that he thought he had was in a couple sentences
gone.
Was led to believe, fully knew after those couple of sentences, right? Those couple of statements that, bro, life changes in a moment.
Fast. And that's the thing, right? And that's why, you know, I think it's good had someone, obviously he's a bad example because he needs professional help. You know, I mean, he needs to see somebody needs to be there and help him. But there's lots of people like that out in the world right now. And when you start fucking with people's money, you're gonna realize real quick, your words don't mean shit. But up until that point, you know, it's like, oh, you can do no wrong.
Right.
You know, come on now. We know.
Say whatever you want to say.
Say whatever you want to say.
However you want to say it.
Design whatever, ugly ass, whatever. And then people are like, oh,
lock into it.
But his mind just thinks different. The motherfucker's just crazy. And you guys are just giving him this power. Yeah, right?
Right.
You're giving him these things. And
as quickly as they give it, they can take it away though.
And this can be, and that's the humbling part of it.
Yeah, right. You know, I think that's the part of it though. Is recognizing, that's when you have humility, is when you recognize it can change in a moment, right? I think it's on your own, knowing that all of this stuff, all of this notoriety, all of this, if I don't treat it right, if I don't nurture it in the right way, it can be snatched from me in a moment. I think that's when humility keeps you in the right place.
No, for sure. I agree with that for sure. But that's the thing, right? Is, and I was thinking about this the other day too, but I mean, can you really, you talk about like Kanye or whatever, you talk about any type of celebrity or star or whatever you want to put it as, you know, how many really truly humble ones do you know?
I got you.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's where I think you have the greatest opportunity and platform to be an example of and show how you can do that. And I think that I don't think people are built, first of all, I don't think anyone's built to be a superstar. You just not, because you enter into a weird realm of yes people, and
you're surrounded by a whole lot of
everything that it is, right? But it's I don't know, I don't think people have been able to have and do these things like you say, of recognizing, you know, because I look at people, you know, they reach a certain level of success, whatever, and then it turns into like, "Oh, I don't have time for you. Leave me alone."
Yeah,
you know, whatever. You guys don't understand. I'm a person too.
And actually, the things that kind of got you to that point, right? The things you invested in to get to that point, you kind of push to the side.
Yeah, you just push it all to the side because now you've made it. You have your level of success. You're no longer humble, right? And it's like you don't realize without all of these little people, without all of these people under you, like you wouldn't be able to do what you do, but you don't acknowledge that,
right?
You know, you don't acknowledge the successes. Like, yes, you may have worked hard. Yes, you may have put in the time. Yes, you may be extremely knowledgeable in your field, but none of that means shit if you're not accepted from the people. You know,
right?
I mean, I don't want to say it doesn't mean shit, but you know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, I
like
understand.
You have to have those people. You have to have the people that want what you're giving.
Yeah.
You know, you have to have people that are open to hearing what you have to say.
Right.
If no one gives you that opportunity, you know, are you still going to feel that same way, right?
Yeah.
You know, it's a weird balance, and I don't think that people have been able to grasp that. So that's why, like, I do say that people need to get smacked down. Like you have to.
So this is a necessary part of growth, in your humble opinion.
Yeah.
This to be smacked down is a necessary part of your exponential growth.
Oh no, for sure. I think that it is. You know, I don't think that, because when you reach a point, I'm not saying that people can't have repeated success.
Yeah.
Success. You're gonna have that, but also when you don't have that success, have you not been humbled before? You're not gonna know how to handle it. You know, and I mean, I don't know if it's so much we use the word humble or people being humbled or whatever it is, but I think that really it's just a balance. That's just a word, really. Ultimately, it's just a balance. You know, humble. I feel like humble and failure can go together.
I mean, because honestly, bro, the things, in order for you to be humbled, is almost that you have to go through. Well, no, you don't, because somebody actually giving you a compliment may humble you. If you didn't believe it, right? If you didn't, if somebody comes to you and says that, Shepherd, when I was 16, I saw you, running track, and I was completely inspired by da 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 da, and the records you da 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 da. And you've told the story about nobody showing up at the track meet, right? But this person sees you and is completely inspired. Is that humbling? To know that you made a change?
I would say, man, you got the wrong one.
You just wouldn't accept it. But that could be humbling, right?
I mean,
because you never knew you had that kind of impact.
For somebody,
okay,
I would say yes, for somebody. For me, is this gonna make me angry?
Why would it make you angry?
Look, I'm a different type of person, right? I feed off of being hated.
We know.
You know, so I mean, I don't go out of my way for people to hate me, but I don't want. Keep your accolades and your congratulations and your whatever.
You just don't have a pool to put them in. I think you like them, but you just don't know how to swim in them.
I'm too poor. No, but so that, that being said, I don't. For me, my humbling or keeping myself humble, or for perfect example, we talk about cleaning out the cupboards.
Okay. Eating, no, that's perfect. Right? That's perfect.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
That's me.
That's perfect.
Keeping myself.
But I was inspired by that, honestly. I mean, because it's share with it for people who don't know what we're talking about.
Oh, okay. Well, if you're just now listening, first of all, thank you. It's a good time to plug, like, comment, subscribe.
Yeah. Also, go back and check out some of those previews.
The back catalog, right, of things that are on there. Speaking of, we need to put our heads together and find a better way to to bring people past episodes if they're interested.
Okay.
Maybe they're not interested. I don't know. Maybe we'll do a repeat sometime. I don't know. But yeah, so we were talking about cleaning out the cupboards, and I go through a point in time where I get to a point where, you know, a lot of people, they go, if they're hungry, they go and buy something. If they want to cook something for the night, they go and buy it so they can cook it. You just basically get what you want when you want it, you know, and it's a long ways removed from where I grew up, where, you know, you just had to make do with what you had because you couldn't go get something different.
Yeah.
And so for me, I go through a point in time, you know, I'm actually thinking about upping it, the amount of times I do it in a year, but I go through a point in time where when it comes to food, I will literally eat every single thing I have before I buy anything new. Mm-hmm. And that may mean that, hey, I have a can of sardines for dinner or a can of baked beans or whatever, because it's humbling. It takes me back to the times where I couldn't afford, you know, food. I couldn't afford a meal every day, or you had to make, you know, $10 stretch as far as you can, and you ate what you had.
Yeah,
you know, syrup sandwiches, as they say, and take your ass to bed. And right. It's for me, it is humbling, and it still is, to think like, man, I actually had to do this. You know, opening a can of small beans was literally like, that was normal. That was dinner. Now people will just look at it and be like, "You're gonna eat what?"
You go, right.
That's stupid, dude. Just go get yourself a,
yeah,
you know, whatever.
I mean, I've had, and the crazy thing is, man, is you made me remember the times where, you know, we had butter and rice, you know?
Yeah.
You know, and it's those moments, man, where you had, you know, you took a one piece of bread and some peanut butter and put it through the middle and you fold it over, and and you run with it, right?
That's what you had.
And that's what you had. And so I appreciated and even reconsidered kind of some of the stuff that we were doing, man. And from that conversation, that initial conversation, because that's been several months ago now when we had that conversation, I even adjust how, you know, so I buy these snacks for my son, and, you know, he'll go through and he'll pick out the ones he likes best, right? Because they got the multi-pack, right? Yeah. He'll get the ones he likes best, and the rest of them will sit there, right? Hates Cheetos, you know, but hey, man, this is the mixed box.
It is what it is.
You won't get another snack box until you
clean this one up right
Get
here.
these Cheetos out of here, right? And so, you know, I might help him with one bag or two, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But at the end of the day, it really transformed my thought process of how I look in the pantry, you know? And I go in the pantry and I'm looking and I'm like, okay, what else is in here that I can make a meal out of today, right? I even talked to my family and I was like, hey guys, you know, we're throwing away a lot of food because I'm cooking today and I'm cooking something else tomorrow and I'm cooking something else the next day, and you eating this one time and then you're going back, it's staying in the refrigerator, right?
Yeah.
And I said, no, man, we
gotta finish this.
We gotta finish this. Right. We gotta finish this. And so, you know, I've even cut back considerably on the amount of cooking I do, because no, man, we can't just waste it, because there's a time coming. There's a time coming when we're going to look back. I don't care where we are today and how you feel about it today. There's going to be a time coming where you're going to look back and wish you had, right? Yeah. Because time repeats itself.
Oh, over and over.
All of it repeats itself, right?
Yeah.
And we're one bomb away from, you know.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I don't think it takes. I think that was important for me, and it was definitely a lesson in humility, that I then applied. Right? Because I was like, man, there's no way that I should be treating it this way, right? My parents came from humble beginnings, right? You know, and so for me to be like, I don't want that. I don't want that. And literally in the refrigerator throwing
all kinds of good shit.
All kinds of stuff away, man. You know what I'm saying? It's so much, 99% of my Tupperware is in the refrigerator. Because it's holding, you know,
all
of this
all
stuff.
The food,
And I'm like, okay, no, we're not gonna live like this.
No, it's funny that you say that, and I don't know, maybe some people can relate or maybe they can, I don't know. But I even find myself doing that. Like, I have my process that I do, but I'm trying to get more serious in my overall eating process as well. And I find myself, like, say I cook food, make whatever it is, and I have leftovers, and I put those in there. The next day I get hungry. I'm like, I want this, but I know that this is here. And I'm like, nah, I still think I want to go get this, right? And so I have a battle with myself on what I'm going to do. So then I end up saying, okay, well, I'm going to go get this. I'm going to have to end up paying this much money and, you know, whatever. I talk myself out of it. Right?
Okay.
I eat the leftovers. You know, I heat them up. I eat them whenever. They still taste fine.
Yeah.
Right? And then once I'm satiated or full, I'm like, how stupid was I? I didn't have to go fucking.
You didn't have to go get anything. Yeah.
This was perfectly fine. I'm not hungry.
Right.
It tasted fine.
It was good yesterday. It's still good today.
It's still good today.
Yeah. Right.
You know, why was I so adamant that I wanted to go buy, I don't know, whatever it was, right? When I had this perfectly good meal right here, you know?
Man, the crazy thing is when you really think about that, you know, and I remember the Sally Struthers commercials, right? Where you can feed somebody for $3 a day, right?
Yeah.
You know, but they're outside of this bubble that we live in, right? There are people that really don't have that choice to decide, I don't want to eat that today, right? I cooked it. No, it's okay. But I want something else. That want for something else may just be a dream or an idea because they have to get what this is, right? There's no choice in the matter.
But what you're saying is 100% true. And there's sometimes I find myself mad at myself, right? Like legitimately, like I'm in here kitchen by my damn self, just mad at my like who the fuck am I to be like, I don't want to eat that when I know, right? There are legitimate people out there, kids, right? You know, babies, kids, everything, who aren't getting anything. Like stomach is strangling your spine. It's so sucked in,
right?
You know, and they would kill to be able to have half of what I have.
Right.
So who the fuck am I to say, no, I'm not gonna eat that shit? Like, no, let's go.
I think it's important, bro. I mean, you're talking about a self-reflecting process, which I think is even more important, because I think if you do that process, then you're less likely to have to be humbled.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? I think if you take it on as your own responsibility, then it doesn't hurt as bad over here when the rug is pulled out, because now you're kind of working through whatever that process is, right? Yeah. And you're doing it intentionally on your own. And I think that just keeps you aware of who you are and what your surroundings are and who you are to your core, because everybody's not going to feel like that, man.
No, I mean, I would hope that we can all one day get there. I mean, if we did, the world would be perfect, right?
Yeah.
But I have to actively look. I guess maybe I try to humble myself because I don't want to be humbled by somebody.
Yeah,
right. So you go and you put yourself through things, but that's the discomfort, I guess, if you will. The humbling is in the discomfort.
Yeah.
You know,
because we don't want to be discomfort. We don't want to be uncomfortable.
No, nobody wants to be uncomfortable. But that's the thing, is that if you're not uncomfortable, you're not going to grow.
Right.
You know, if you're not uncomfortable, you're not going to achieve that next plateau or whatever it is you're trying to go for. And people are scared of being uncomfortable. And I mean, it is. It's, if you think about it, it's a scary thing.
Yeah.
You know, but you know, I don't know. Maybe that's why I like to suffer. I don't know, right? Like I want to be uncomfortable as much as possible, but it is tiring, right? It is tiring to have to always fight. It is tiring to have to always, do whatever, and you do need a break from that. But I think it's good. But there's also, there's a lot of ways that you can have that humbleness that doesn't necessarily have to come from somebody else. You can create that. Working out, I humble myself and work. I suck at running, long distance running, terrible. Terrible. And I'll share that, there,
brother.
I will get out there, and it humbles me every time because I feel real good about myself. But about quarter mile in, when my lungs is collapsing, My lungs is collapsing. My legs feel like they fell off about 100 yards back.
Back tightening up. Yeah.
I'm like Lieutenant Dan, just crawling on the ground, and everybody's driving by looking at me like,
Lieutenant Dan,
what's
like
up?
for real.
Yeah, look, no legs, just crawling, right? And I'm like, it's a humbling experience because, that is I don't want to say equalizer, but it brings you back down.
Man, you just bring up crazy memories, man. Because I remember playing football, right? And I was a decent athlete. It wasn't like I was was bad, man. I made all district. I went some places. Starting football player, right? But in the off season, man, we would do long distance running. And I'd be doggone if I wasn't like always the last one,
all the way in the back,
because we would leave the school and we would run through the neighborhood, man. And I'm dreading it because I already know, my back's about to tighten up. We running on concrete. My knees about to be throbbing, and maybe I set myself up for it because I just dreaded it, right? But it never failed. It didn't matter how good I was on that field.
Yeah,
I was gonna always be the last one or two in the back of that line, and that was humbling. That was completely humbling.
That is a humbling experience. I know exactly what you're talking about because we had in school. So where my school was, I don't know why they called it this, but we would train. So the football players, and even during the track, because long distance, there's like different kinds of long distance running teams. So we would train with the long distance people. They'd make us go train with the long distance people.
Right. And
so they had what they called big block and a small block.
Okay.
And first of all, why they called it a block? Because it wasn't a block. It wasn't a block. Big block was probably about 8-9 miles. I don't know what it was.
Right.
And every time they would say, all right, guys, you're going to train with long distance, you're going to do the big block. I'm like, fuck.
Here we go.
And you just go take off. And I would get so angry because you have all the long distance for them. Big block to them was nothing. They're up there fucking laughing and shit.
Right.
Having a good time, whole conversation. And I'm back here. I can still see the school from where I'm standing. And I'm just fuck, I ain't going to make it.
Right.
I done walked about 100,000 times.
Exactly. Right.
It's just far. And it wasn't that I was psyching myself out. I'm just not built
for long distance running like that.
And it is a very humbling experience to realize that there's people out there with a skill set that you don't have as good and confident as I was.
Yeah.
Even though I was killing it on the field and killing it on the track.
Right.
Once we stepped off, I wasn't shit. I wasn't.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, not even back of the pack. At that point, the back of the pack was still about half mile up.
Yeah. It's like
in front of me.
It's like, man, I remember it, man, when I'm driving sometimes and you see the pack of riders, the guys on bikes, and you see the group is way up there and you got one dude back here struggling.
That shit. That was me. That was
me too.
Yeah.
That was me too, because I would hate it because we would come back all the way around, right? And we would come back to the track.
Yeah.
And so you would come back in and then you would just have to run the last, quarter of the track to get back to the starting line of where we started. And they would always be waiting on me.
You never want to be the guy that they have to clap in.
Hey, let's go.
Come on, you got it.
And then the other guys come to them,
run back
and run with you.
Oh
no, don't do that.
No, it's
I'm coming. I'm on my own.
It's embarrassing, man. I've been there. I fucking been there. It is a humbling experience.
They trying to usher you in
because you taking too long.
Like, come on, bro, we ready to go.
They can't get a water break until you bring.
They've been there 45 minutes, and I'm just not showing up.
Waiting, they done stopped sweating and everything already. You finally getting there. Shit, and you got that weird like stutter step because you're barely making it. Oh fuck, man, those are bad memories, bro. Bad fucking memories.
Well, those are memories we share because I got them too.
Yeah, look, those are humbling experiences.
Yeah,
another one.
Completely.
There's another one, and I don't. This was my ignorance back then, and my a little too confident.
Okay.
So in the high school, You know, I dabbled in a lot of things, right? I did a lot of things. One of the things that I did do was I played chess.
Okay.
I felt I was decent.
Okay.
Right? Really decent at it, right?
Okay.
Wasn't the best, but I felt I was pretty decent. And,
I can see you playing chess.
When you're confident,
yeah,
you know, you feel even better about your set of skills. We had a guy, for the life of me, I cannot remember his name. I'm gonna have to probably pull the old yearbook out one day and look. But he had birth defects, right? And so he was born, his hands were like turned in like this.
Okay.
And they didn't work, so everything that he had to grab, he'd have to grab in
the corner,
in the wrist area of his whatever. But he also played chess.
Okay,
right. So for me, he won. Like I was gonna play. Like, I was like, I'm about to walk all. I'm about to walk.
I'm about to get him.
I'm about to get all over Captain Hook right here, boy. Real quick. When I tell you he whooped my ass,
he got you, huh?
So fast, embarrassed me in front of everybody, and we played in the library too. So you know all the jocks gonna show up, everybody gonna show. I don't know why, world's shortest game, and it just made me look bad in front of everybody. I was like, well, humbled, I'm gonna take my ass on, retire the old chessboard.
You didn't play anymore after that?
Never again. He made me look so bad. For real? He made me look terrible. He made me look.
Oh, he made you shut it down?
Look, crooked arms and all. Fuck me up.
Wow.
Oh, shit.
Okay, so he got you.
He got me.
Man, okay. All right.
So all I'm saying is being humble is good. Nothing but respect for that man.
Yeah.
You know? Probably if Guinness was there, I would have gotten an award.
Did y'all had a clock that you had to hit?
Game. It wasn't no point.
Because he had done.
Whooping my ass.
How many moves?
Fuck, dude. I want to say he had me. The game was over in about 3. So I don't. The game was already over. I just didn't know it yet.
I got it. He had already set you up.
It's a wrap.
Yeah, man.
Humbling experience.
I mean, I remember in college, man. We were the step team, right? Fraternity, and we went to this step competition, man. And we were on stage, and there was the part of the song where we had to do a chant, a part of where we're doing a chant. And I'm president of the fraternity at this point.
Yeah.
And these people are gonna respect us in here, and we about to win this show. And I said, give me the mic, because I'm now the people are down here, and I'm thinking like, man, they can't really hear us. We gotta be louder.
Right.
So I'm reaching for the mic, and I hear my brothers back here like, Aaron, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. No, don't do it. And so I'm anyway, give me the mic. And so I start to sing the chant.
Yeah.
Bro, them dudes booed me. Auditorium full of people. They got quiet. Like it was as quiet as a mouse, waiting for me to start. I start, boo. I said, I got mad. I threw the mic. I was like, oh, let's go. And so now I'm yelling. Now I'm just like, oh, man.
Look, I'm telling you.
We lost the show. We didn't win no money.
Nothing.
And them boys laughed at me all the way home, man.
Hey, but those
dude, what made you think you could sing?
Just get up there and hey, you were trying something new, right?
And it did not work.
Humbling
Mr. President got humbled on stage.
On stage in front of everybody.
In front of everybody. And then there was people, because the people were close enough to the stage. And I remember it just like it was yesterday. There was a young lady who I had gone to high school with. She was going to this school. And she was like, Aaron, it's okay. No.
You got to get bailed out. It's all right.
It's all right. Like we at church somewhere, right? Where you had a little kid on stage. Sing, baby. No. This is not good.
Yeah, no.
This is not good.
I get it. These experience. You know what? If anybody listening has a humbling experience, please let us know.
Share with us, because we have plenty.
Yes. Oh my God, there's a lot. But those are things that shape.
They strengthen you, right? They grow you up. Hopefully, if you take them for what they are, right? And hopefully they'll strengthen you. They'll grow you, and you'll be able to make a better decision in another situation the next time.
Yeah,
Hopefully.
That's the goal.
but not quit chess. We need to pull the chessboard
Nah,
out,
fuck
man.
that. I got.
You scarred?
I got PTSD. I can't. You ever been out to Lawson Terra or whatever? Where they got them big ass outdoor.
Yeah, the big ones.
I get scared. I just run. I start sweating, getting nervous.
You just move around, huh? You don't even walk through the courtyard.
Outside. Swing back around.
You think the queen gonna chase you or something?
You're not gonna get me set up out there to get my ass whooped again outside in front of everybody. That's not happening.
No more public shaming, huh?
No more public shaming. I'm just gonna keep to myself.
Man.
If somebody says they can do it, I believe you. You don't got to prove it.
Okay,
to me.
I'm not gonna test your gangster today.
Hey, it is what it is. I got you, bro. I got you. Right. But yeah, humble. Be humble. Stay humble.
Yeah.
And hopefully we can make a better world from it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just leave it there, man.
Peace.
Yeah. What's going on, guys? Hopefully you enjoyed the show. We appreciate you listening for sure. But we need your help.
Yeah, we need your help. We need you to like, comment, and subscribe so that we can continue to make great content for you guys.
Yeah. Don't forget, like, comment, subscribe.
And it's right here on the screen. Everything you need.
Right there. Thank you so much, guys, for listening.
All right, take care.